Today's topic is how to find the unit vector. Now let's define what is a unit vector. Now if we have a vector right here, let's call it vector v. This vector has a magnitude and also a direction, like pointing in a specific direction. So how do we find the unit vector for this v vector? Now the unit vector is actually a vector with a magnitude of 1. Now to find the unit vector, we just have to divide the vector by its magnitude. So this will give us the unit vector. Now let's look at an example. Now let's find the unit vector for this a vector right here. So we know that the unit vector equals the vector divided by its magnitude. So we have the vector right here, which is 1, -2, 5. So how do we find its magnitude? The magnitude of A can be found using this formula. Where x is the x component and y is the y component and z is the z component. So x is 1 squared plus y is -2 squared plus z is 5, as we can see right here. So 5 squared. This will give us the square root of 30. So now we just have to plug in the square root of 30 right here to get the final answer. So now we just have to divide each of these components by the square root of 30. So our final answer is 1 over the square root of 30, -2 by the square root of 30, and 5 by the square root of 30. Now, how can we make sure that this is the unit vector? As we said earlier, that the unit vector has a magnitude of 1. So how do we check if this vector has a magnitude of 1? We just have to calculate it. So the magnitude, let's say, of u, which is the unit vector, by using the same formula that we used earlier, each of the components, the sum of each of the components squared, now by plugging this in the calculator, we will get 1, which means that we got the right answer.